My name is Gleb Lukicov, and I am an MLOps engineer at Electric Twin, where I help our data science efforts to scale and simulate human behavior. Well, from an early age, I've always been fascinated by the science. So I've actually started my kind of journey into science with degree in physics. I really enjoyed that and ended up doing a PhD in particle physics, which was absolutely fascinating. I had a chance to work on an experiment that took place in Chicago. And the result of the experiment was actually discovery of a hint for new physics. As I was involved more into research, what I realized that what I like more is not crunching numbers for analysis, but actually working on creating pipelines to move data at scale and also to help people, so my other fellow collaborators, get access to good quality data so they can answer questions. Um, Within science, those kind of roles are not widely available. However, looking at the industry, so data science, machine learning, those roles are almost at the forefront. They're very important. So a platform sort of engineering role is really what excites me. It's sort of like a connection between platforms, people, and processes. So I got to get involved with data science first, and then machine learning, and now MLOps engineering. So I've already had a bit of an experience with analyzing data, so I knew what is involved. So next step for me was to actually get my hands dirty, so to speak, in training the models. So the first sort of uh, step into becoming a data scientist was a faculty fellowship. So a company named Faculty, they run this 6-week intense training program here in UK, where they take researchers and help them get into become data scientists in the industry. So that was my first kind of stepping stone into the working with data training models, and again realizing the nature of collaborative work within data science and how important it's not only the technical skills but also what we call the soft skills to make sure the project is successful. Because in a company, for data science projects to succeed, you also have to be very much security conscious and also people conscious and of course customer conscious. You can develop the best model with the best accuracy scores, but if it's not solving the problem for your customers, this is almost useless. So again, being a successful data scientist is sort of connecting the real business problem, customer need, and doing it all securely. So a lot of exciting challenges. Looking back at my career so far, I would say the proudest moment was when I reached 1 year as a machine learning engineering manager. So that was my first managerial role at Virgin Media O2. And then looking back kind of at the way we scaled the team, at the challenges we solved, and how many data scientists in a company we have enabled, that was really a proud moment for me. I helped to hire and train 3 MLOps engineers into the team, and they have successfully integrated, passed their probation, and now an integral part of the team. So that was kind of a proud moment for me, where now instead of sort of solving the problems that were sort of given to me by the company, I was also able to help directly my teammates to solve problems. So kind of like essentially serving as a force multiplier. Oh, that's a tough one. That's probably one of the top few reasons why working in data and AI is exciting, because I know it sounds like a bit of a cliche, but not a single day is the same. So you might have a plan of you'll start your morning with a meeting, then you'll analyze some data, you might build a pipeline, write some tests. And that's never going to be reality, because the degree of the unknown is extremely high. And so a lot of plants are always challenged by the reality on the ground, where you just don't have enough data. Data is not right quality, and you kind of have to think on your feet quite a lot. Uh, so the usual days probably difficult to describe, but overall, what the common denominator from day to day is writing a lot of code and analyzing a lot of data. And but that's probably it. Otherwise, yeah, none of them are the same. So here's going to be a little bit biased in terms of the challenge that has faced the industry. So as a platform engineer, I'm currently drowning in just a number of available tools and platforms. Every time you sort of look at the chart, it's almost become comical, like ML platforms available, LLMOps platforms available, and it's just like 40 different things, and just like 10 of them are being added every month. So when you're faced with a new project, new challenge in the business, let's say if you want to implement RAG, so retrieval augmented generation, and you're like, okay, which tool should I use? And it's like, oh, do I have to now evaluate like 20 or 30 different tools and platforms? Oh my God. So it's like kind of the variety of the available tools to solve the problem. Maybe it's a good problem to have. I think the other extreme where you just don't have any tools available is problematic. But right now it's quite hard to see exactly what is the right tool for the job. So we kind of have to just the benefit is being connected to a community where you can ask fellow practitioners who've already solved the problem recently in a domain that you share, what worked for them and what didn't work for them. So yeah, I think that the biggest challenge is just finding the right tool out of the plentiful sea of available platforms and tools. Let's see. So, that's quite a big projection. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable making a prediction for 10 years, but for 5 years, I think we're going to be more comfortable with using generative AI in our day-to-day work. So what I mean by that is, right now we're already comfortable sort of instead of looking for an answer and copy pasting from Stack Overflow, we're happily copy pasting from Claude or ChatGPT. But that's still sort of like a human in loop involved where you have an idea in your head and then you have like a conversation with your assistant to create a piece of code. I think what we're going to be going into the next couple of years in more sort of agentic workflow specifically for code generation, where you're going to interact with tools and those tools are going to be empowered enough again by yourself, by your team members to realize that if there's not enough available sort of code base, it will sort of just write its own tools, write its own tests and add it to the code base. So I think we'll be much more comfortable with sort of just opening a repository and just like, oh, there's like a bunch of new folders made available now. Who created them? Oh, it's a chatbot that was part of that project, and sort of just go along with it. Because I think the complexity of what we're trying to do is quite high. So any kind of assistance from like generative AI to generate more code that we can use is better. So I think in the next 5 years, hopefully, we'll be writing less code. But let's see in 5 years if that's come true or not. A lot has changed, even with the advent of kind of generative AI and this massive disruption in our industry. The one thing I'm always going to stand true is making sure you know the basics really well, right? So if you're studying maths, you want to know your multiplication table. If you're working in data science and ML, again, the basis of what makes a good data science project succeed. What are the good best practices for building an ML pipeline, right? And evaluating a model. No matter how the industry might change, just having the intuitive sense of those fundamental best practices for creating a right software and what makes for a readable code, what makes for a clean code. If you have that basis right, then no matter sort of how the industry might change, I think your skills going to be always valuable. There'll be always value add from you. So I'll say that is the right focus instead of maybe chasing the hype of going full on just the agents or just RAG or just like fine tuning, because you never know if the hot thing today might be even relevant in a couple of years, but the base is always gonna remain in demand. So I think focusing on the basis is important. I think, God, I have to go back into data. This is probably has been the case before AI, even like before machine learning arrived sort of to the scene. Right? It's always one of the big limits is data, quality of data and available data. So you can always scale with enough money, but if you just don't have enough data, you can't really throw the money at the problem that easily. Then we have the predictive ML, and similarly, again, having good quality or labeled data. Now generative AI, it's the same thing. So we always sort of, no matter how much we try to scale, it's always data that's sort of keeping you from achieving your maximum potential in your project. So underappreciated skill, I think, would be good practice in like data engineering, data leveraging, data cleaning. I think those again will be in high demand and are still for some reason underappreciated. So yes, value your data engineers. If I have to name specific names, I'll probably say it's the people who find time between sort of their busy careers to write books for us, for the rest of the industry practitioners to benefit from. So if you're writing Medium blog posts, fantastic, keep on doing it. If you think you're writing a book, please do. And some of the books that I've read recently that has been fantastic is, actually I have one here. There we go, it's LM Engineer's Handbook. This is absolutely fantastic practical guide by Maxime Labon and Paul Izutsin. So probably a great sort of authors, great influencers in the field. I also want to give shout out to Chip Wen. Her AI engineering book is also great. So again, people who take time from the busy life to write a book for us, keep on doing that. Again, here's my bias as an MLOps engineer. And if you are looking to learn more good practice on MLOps, I would recommend checking out blog posts and podcasts from the MLOps community. The sheer variety of speakers that have been invited for those blog post podcasts are just great. Recently read a great blog post by the team from ZenML, again, how to build really scalable and efficient pipelines. So do check out MLOps community podcast and blogs. They're a fantastic resource to get your pipelines in order.